Hey folks, Dave here, and welcome back to the Witcher 3 Wild Hunt Blood and Wine expansion pack here in part 4 of my playthrough. In the last episode, we went on quite a few side questing adventures, so this time we're going to get back to the main story and go meet up with Regis at the cemetery.
Go.
This is definitely the gloomiest I've seen Toussaint so far. Tell you what though guys, it's definitely tempting to get back on the path of Gwent. But it's hard to ignore an old friend when he comes back from the dead. Belgard Vineyard.
Aye, the pigs can fly.
Monsters are your catnip. Let is mine.
Giddy up.
A day like all others.
Where are we going?
You, hey, with
Come
blades
on
on your
now.
back. Help us. Look, monsters all about.
What do we have? Ooh, Andragas. Oh, m'lady. Okay. Let me go ahead and put some oil on my sword because these guys are decently high level. Andragas. I believe they're insectoids. Yeah. I'll go with my gut here. Well, that hurt a lot. Okay. Can't be super aggressive. All of my low-level questing in the base game has taught me some bad habits. Whoa! Whatever that hit was really hurt me. I love this new combat music too. Let's get Quen up. Might be poison that's hitting me so hard. Yep. Hard to fight in the vineyard too. Take that whirl. Just in case he explodes, I'm gonna hang back. Okay. I've got to get better at these random encounter fights, guys. I'm just being too aggressive. But hey, we survived.
Gotta blow this up if I want to get rid of the Andragas.
And goodbye, nest. Nice. And for the best loot, well, at least more loot.
Thank you.
Wait, thank you.
Thank you.
How about some coin? Oh, they're gonna dig up the bodies from the nest. That's grim. Come on, Roach. Oh, wow, that view. And the UI is going off.
Come on, Roach.
That is amazing. This is just like where Geralt first met Regis. Oh! Alright, what do we have here?
Die.
There you are. Archspores. Classic Witcher 1 enemies. Ow. Poisoned just a bit. Okay, a bit close, but it's dead now. What does the bestiary say about those monstrosities? They're cursed ones. According to popular belief, they are cursed plants grown in soil, fertilized by the blood of the dying. They grow in sites where there were bloody rituals, cruel murders, and some may have been cultivated by mages. Looks like Ard and Igni and cursed oil is a good solution. Oh, you can read the headstones too. Might not have been the smartest, might not have been the fairest, but he always gave a solid 60%. Art patron stuck his big nose in everywhere. This is like the sarcastic cemetery. There we go. Just a military marker.
Regis. Couldn't have picked some other place to meet.
I see more Archspores. I'm gonna go ahead and try and take this thing out. Whoa, cool. Ow.
How long you gonna make me wait?
Try and get you both at once. Whoa, that Archspore hurt me a lot, a lot, a lot. Let's get another swallow going there. I know its weaknesses. Let's go for Igni. Ow. Well, that was unexpected. Let's try that again. Heal up a bit more first.
Regis. Couldn't have picked some other place to meet.
Nope. Fired that backwards. Perfect. No more dancing stars, but how about an exploding bolt? Ooh. I think I just made him mad. Yep. That hit is really bad. Let's do Quen. Eat some raw meat too. Alright, where are you? Oh, cut its stem in half. I'm gonna get back there for a second. Okay. That's a very different enemy to fight. Might as well go ahead and meet with Regis, but I am going to meditate for just 1 hour to get my potions back. And my bombs, for that matter. Okay. Now that I've crouched awkwardly outside of Regis's hideout, let's not get on Roach. If you want to draw blood, draw it from a king. Yeah, let's go on in for our meeting.
Regis! Damn it. Locked. No way I got the place wrong. This is it. Gotta be. Gotta be another way in around here.
Okay. Well, now we search. I see a cave entrance on the map. Is it... Yeah, this broken statue right here. From a crypt. Well, here goes nothing. Kikamore worker. There we go. Oh, he blocked the whirl. A skeleton. 2 florins. What is that?
Decaying bones. Kikimores must have tunneled into the grave.
I was thinking about using my torch, but I really need my sword fighting hand down here. I'm pretty toxic too right now. Can I actually spare the toxicity for a cat potion? It's black blood. Gotta remember that for fighting vampires. Oop. Don't drop it. Take it.
Kicking more eggs. Need to incinerate these to ash.
Ow, my eyes!
That's some stench.
What's back here? Is that an entrance? To something here.
Agreed to meet a vampire at a cemetery. How much more cliché can you get?
Nothing comes readily to mind.
Could have left the door unlatched.
What of my privacy? I value it rather deeply. Unmolested, especially by unwanted guests, that's my preferred state. Besides, I knew you'd find a way to get in.
True enough. Need to find your friend. I'm hoping you'll agree to help.
I shall do whatever's in my power. Yet what you want or even need must matter little. What matters is what Dettlaff wants. If he does not wish to be found, you will not find him. Ever. End of story.
Come on. Gotta be some way.
Vampires can evade detection by the senses, and no divination magic works on us. Even the most precise megoscope would be useless.
And this? Could this help?
Wherever did you get that?
Off one of the beast's victims, found by a bend in the river. Body was chopped in pieces. 3 of those pieces were hands. Hand with the ring seemed the odd one out. Abruxa had taken an interest in it.
It's Dettlaff's hand, without a doubt. It will do splendidly.
Ring's pretty intriguing. Made of no metal I've ever seen. And the ornamentation.
It comes from our home, where we lived before the conjunction of spheres. It's actually mine. I received it from a dear old friend. You might call him a humanist. He saw us vampires as guests here. Guests who owe their hosts, meaning you humans and the elder races, respect.
Respect? Meaning not to treat us like cattle to be slaughtered for food?
Precisely. And the reason why I, in turn, gave it to Dettlaff. To remind him of the ideals my old friend championed.
The hand. What do you plan to do with it?
You've heard of Kovinaris' theory of tissue memory retention.
Rings a distant bell. Read about it in Alchemia Oblitera. There's a copy of Kaer Morhen, tattered, nearly disintegrated. But if memory serves, Kovinaris never managed to prove it worked.
He did prove it, just never managed to publish his findings. He and I corresponded, you see, after we became friends. Thus, I know he completed his research and performed the first tests. It's complicated, so without delving into details, it is possible to use any piece of tissue to reconstruct what a whole body experienced.
How's it work? We need any special equipment?
We must brew a decoction which Kovinaris gave a rather poetic name, resonance. Once imbibed, it sends one into a trance similar to that induced by narcotics. This triggers visions of events linked to strong emotions experienced by the tissue's owner. Picture it as dreaming a fragment of someone's life.
Any chance we might see what Dettlaff was doing just before he lost his hand?
Indeed. Though I also hope resonance will reveal the location of Dettlaff's hideout.
Can't you just summon Dettlaff? You're both hired vampires, there's gotta be a way.
If I'm to be entirely candid, there is indeed one. But believe me, we will be better off never availing ourselves of it. It is a last resort. Absolutely.
Last resort? The hell? Why?
There is a being who can summon Dettlaff. Possesses the authority, even the power, to force him to appear in a given place. But the very act of contacting this being, well, it's akin to walking a slack line extended over a chasm filled with molten lava. An exercise as perilous to me as it would be to you. A risk I'm unwilling to take. I beg you, let's do it my way. It will be both quicker and easier.
Fair enough.
Covenarius spent half his life proving his theory. Wild guess. Making a dose of resonance won't be easy.
You guessed correctly. In addition to Dettlaff's tissue, we shall need a powerful occipital lobe stimulant. Effectively a poison, to make one susceptible to visions.
Well, got a few ingredients to choose from. Unfortunately, all are pretty rare. There's Mamoon glands, but closest ones I know of are in Vizima. A spotted white saliva would also serve, but they were cold to extinction over a century ago. Could go with a kobold's eyes, but the creatures are sentient. Rather not gouge one's eyes out.
Given that we lack the time to sleuth this out ourselves, permit me to summon some help.
What was that?
A raven? Rather a common sight at this latitude. Very intelligent fowl. I asked him to look for the creatures you mentioned, him and his brethren. Perhaps they'll find one in the area, and I would hazard that a flock of ravens will spy any said creature faster than a solitary witcher would, with all due respect to your skills, my friend. It will take them some time, nonetheless, so perhaps you'd care for a snifter of mandrake.
Let's do it.
Rarely say no to a snifter.
Sadly, this is but a weak infusion rather than a proper distillate.
Even better. I remember your mandrake hooch. Made people say things they'd have rather kept to themselves.
Now, what could Geralt of Rivia prefer to keep to himself?
So, think you've set a nice little trap for me? Sorry. Want to get me to confess? Gonna have to try harder.
I love a challenge. In that case, my ears are cocked. What must I do?
How about you get the ball rolling? Reveal one of your secrets. Vampires, intriguing creatures, must lead fascinating lives.
Anything in particular interest you?
Yeah, Regis, where have you been?
Curious what you did after you were reborn.
As I'm sure you can surmise, at first I was thoroughly absorbed with recovering. As it is, I've still not recovered completely. Yet I was so weak the first year that I could not stand or move on my own. Dettlaff bore my weakness bravely, showed great patience. If not for him, I wouldn't be here, and I'd have regenerated far slower. Once I could at last stand unassisted, I set off for Bruges, for my one-time home of Dillingen. There I led the peaceful life of a rural healer and surgeon, enjoying my neighbours' respect and, in fact, constituting the exact opposite of the monstrous vampire the populace imagines.
Bruges, you say? Rebirth make you sentimental?
Perhaps a dash. But what of you? Where have you been? Ever find your Cyrilla?
Back then, yeah. But we parted again soon after. And when the time was ripe, she came back. Defeated the wild hunt together.
Seems I certainly missed quite a bit while I was absent.
True enough. But it's a conversation we'll have another time. Need to know more about you now. Gotta ask you the big question, one everyone wonders about. What happens after death?
You wish me to tell you if the human belief in the gods is well-founded? Well, that I do not know. We vampires differ exceedingly from you humans. Our matter, that of which we are composed, can exist without form. We require neither a heart, nor a brain, nor air to breathe.
But were you dead?
As humans understand death, yes.
Feel anything? Understand anything?
It's rather hard to explain. I felt something very unsettling. Something I cannot even name, for I did no reasoning. Only after rebirth did I begin to understand that what I had felt was cold and unimaginable fear. If not for Dettlaff, I might have drowned in an eternity of icy terror.
Well, that's dark.
Can't have been alive then. Sheesh, experience like that must be vicious.
Indeed, it's hard to compare to anything I know. Yet you are aware we don't see death as you do. The way you cling to life, we find it entirely peculiar. You are mortals, ergo it's a foregone conclusion. You will die. It's but a question of time. Thus, I often find myself wondering why you try so very hard. To die at 20 years, 40, even 100, what's the difference? They're all but the blink of an eye.
Depends on your point of view. Man who's got 1,000,000 crowns to spend can't possibly understand one who's only got 20.
Very true. One's outlook can indeed change much.
Got a new life, new body. That give you a new start, blank slate?
Starting all anew is a very broad concept. What exactly do you mean?
Your blood addiction, say. Wondering if your body's the same, if it still remembers. Maybe if you drank now, you wouldn't get hooked.
All addictions are a form of slavery. Re-addiction's not a risk I'm willing to take, just to test a hypothesis about corporeal regeneration and whether propensities carry over.
Fair enough. Curiosity, that's all. Sorry.
Not to worry, Geralt. Curiosity is a natural reaction under the circumstances, apart from which I've always valued that trait in you.
Always fascinated me the way vampires can regenerate. A hand growing back is one thing, but Dettlaff recreating you out of a wet smear? Something else entirely.
A difficult and laborious process, but one that's possible, as my presence proves. But I've heard you too had quite the adventure. They say you lost your memory.
For a bit, but Triss helped me get it back. Actually, pretty damn lucky I only had amnesia.
Yes, you humans are rather buggered in those terms. To strip you of life is, well, it's just plain easy. I've always pitied you in that regard. We vampires are much harder nuts to crack. If a member of another race kills one of us, we can be reborn with a living higher vampire's help. However, if one of our own strikes the deadly blow, death is permanent. There can be no rebirth. One of the chief reasons why vampires long ago swore never to fight one another.
Yeah, Geralt's definitely experienced a lot more than just amnesia, though. No book spoilers, though.
All right, give you one question. What do you want to know?
One question to ask one as fascinating as you, Geralt. Cruel parsimony, I'd say, but I shall do my best to make it count. If you were to die and be reborn as I was, in your new life, would you choose to be a witcher?
I think Geralt does feel kind of saddled with the responsibility, but I don't think he's as angry about it as, say, the Witcher Lambert is, so...
See, Regis. Doubt I'd know how to be anything else.
Ever tried?
See, you're determined to get an answer, to find out if I like being a witcher. Just refuse to ask directly, as always. I like being on the path. I like picking up a lead, a trail. I like the tension right before a fight. And nothing gets my adrenaline flowing like battling a beast. Even gotten used to people treating me like a freak, an outcast. Yeah, not something I think about much, but I like being a witcher.
Thank you for being honest. Honesty is an attribute of the truly brave, and thus a privilege of the very few.
Still no sign of your winged friend. Sure it understood what you wanted?
Dead certain. Let's wait a bit longer. It'll return soon, don't doubt that for a moment. Ever vigilant, even in his sleep. Quite vampire-like, in fact. Are you absolutely certain they don't administer a few of our genes during the trial of the grasses?
Far as I know, none. Now what you got for me?
You were right. No kobolds or mamoons for miles around.
Knew it.
Allow me to finish. You see, there's this spotted white. It haunts an abandoned residence in the Caraberta woods.
Impossible. My brethren hunted down every last spotted white before I was born.
Then it seems you must revise your knowledge of spotted whites. For somehow this one managed to survive your brethren's onslaught. It seems I know this home it haunts. Recall a tale about it. Locals believe the place cursed. Perhaps that's how the white survived entirely unmolested.
Know anything else about this curse?
I don't recall much in particular. Really don't attach much importance to such things. It was mentioned to me as an anecdote, no more.
Come on, search your memory. Something, anything could be important.
I believe it had a relation to hunger, or, perhaps greed, rapacity. Someone was punished for something...
Textbook definition of a curse, pretty much.
Sorry, Geralt, I try not to clutter my mind with the details of every far-fetched tale I happen to hear. What are your thoughts?
A specimen of a species thought long extinct, and a curse, in one place. That a coincidence, or are they related?
Ah, professional curiosity. Personally, I've nothing against you delving into this dilemma, but please remember we need the white's saliva. Nothing beyond that.
Whites rarely appear in the woods, even less likely to find them in abandoned human homes. They inhabit remote wildernesses, old abandoned cemeteries.
What's your point?
This might not be a spotted white after all. Your little helper might have made a mistake.
I sincerely doubt it. Ravens are devilishly intelligent creatures, and they've highly developed observational skills.
What exactly did they observe?
The area around the estate, it's covered in spoons.
Spoons?
Spare me the skeptical smile. I'm but the bearer of this news. Or perhaps this spotted white is a hoarder. Or the spoons are somehow related to the curse.
Well, that's intriguing.
Let's do this. Start making your decoction while I go get some saliva from that white. Uses it in its brews.
Do you imagine the white will simply sell you some?
Worst case scenario, I'll bring you its salivary glands. They ought to do as well.
For a moment there, I imagined you asking the white to spit into a vial. Quite amusing as a thought, but the salivary glands will do fine indeed.
So, see you later.
Yes, till later. I shall start by perusing some tomes.
Tomes? Thought you were gonna make this decoction.
We require one last ingredient. Alas, obtaining it could prove a trifle toilsome. Thus, I hope to identify a suitable alternative.
All right. Good luck.
And to you, my friend.
Regis, it is good to have you back. Also, I am now blinded. Let's take a white honey. There we are. Bestiary entry. whites. Huh, they are necrophages. Left alone, they present no serious danger. They are more interested in mixing noxious brews in cauldrons instead of fighting. They're usually found around ancient burial sites. They sleep for months and lead solitary lives. That's interesting. So they're not sentient, but they're humanoid and they have some intelligence. It looks like the spotted whites were a subspecies of the white. They were larger, they had blotches, and other than that, they just made more complicated brews, it sounds like. If threatened, they became dangerous indeed. They would slip into a state of lethargy, making them easy targets in the cold. However, it was said that even during their active periods, witchers found a way to best them based around the Yurden sign. So they're quite different from traditional whites. Come on, Roach. Roach? Let's see, where on the map is the lair? It's pretty close, but I'm going to deviate just a bit here, guys. I want to head back to my vineyard. Let's see, no place like home. I've got some equipment that I want to just drop off, and I want to see what I've got back there. And it sounds like we have some time to kill, so I'm gonna go ahead and head out. That's amazing, you can see the castle from here. I actually have not ridden across the southern part of the city, so I'm gonna ride this out on foot. Whoa. Some sharp elevation change right there.
It matters not that a man's as fit as a fiddle if he never gives his lady a roaring dittle.
Oh, the peasantry. Oh, it's the docks. How do I get around?
And when she passes it goes, she passes goes.
This is a very gloomy day out here. Alright, and who is whispering creepily?
Good victuals, Russians.
It's Dan.
Slow now. Whoa.
You ought to take less from me, haven't you heard? I'm called the Sea Serpent.
Because your Slivian have but 2 teeth, no doubt.
Oh!
Ah! Ow!
Ah!
And he's to save us from the beast?
Oh, possible.
Who is clucking at me?
Beware all! The witchman cometh!
from
The witch man cometh. This should be it right here, guys. I think. No. No, we've still got 225 to go. I was gonna say, I have a great view of the city. I can't tell if it's gonna storm or if it's just grim out here today.
Come on.
Perfect. The vineyard where I slaughtered a Bruxa.
Welcome home, sir. I am Barnabas Basil Faulty. By order of the Duchess, I shall serve you as Major Domo of Corvo Bianco. I previously served with distinction at the Nibli family manor and in Nazaire with Admiral Rompali, who, as you are certain to know, is an extraordinary demanding gentleman.
Whoa, Barnabas Basil. One thing you ought to know. I'm not your typical landed gentleman. Truth be told, this is the first real property I've ever owned.
Oh, in that case, you must leave it all to me. I shall organize, see to everything, and whip the house into order. I dare say this place will soon be the most prosperous vineyard around.
Great. Can already see I'm in good hands. Vineyard comes across as a place with a rich history. Know who owned it before me?
Baron Rossel, who went bankrupt, forcing him to sell the estate to the Duchess. The Baron, in turn, had purchased it from Monsieur Bolius of the Headsman, a truly colorful man of Ketweni origin.
He was actually a headsman?
No, not him, but his great-great-great-great-grandfather. Indeed. Apparently, he was a common cut-purse who somehow secured for himself the post of ducal headsman in Beauclair. Went about his work with an exceptional penchant. They say he chopped off more heads than there are grapevines in the ducal vineyards. He never hesitated, not once. Never sliced unevenly, never botched a job. For his exemplary service, the Duke granted him a title and this estate. Monsieur Bolius, on the other hand, was an engineer in his younger years. Once retired, he settled here and took to producing wine. Sadly, misfortune struck and he lost his sense first of smell, then of taste. Additionally, he could not drink alcohol. His medic forbade it.
Shame that. He gave up making wine?
Not at all. He made even more of it. Began throwing wild balls to which he'd invite friends from far and wide in order to treat them to his wine and delight in the fact that at least someone could enjoy it. It's the sort of man he was, Monsieur Bolius.
Mind giving me a little tour de Corvo Bianco?
Not in the least. Follow me, please. I think it would be practical to begin on the hill.
These upgrades are going to be expensive, I can tell right now.
Behold, sir, your estate in all its splendor.
Pretty vast.
Indeed. And now, sir, allow me to show you a handful of interesting details. Follow me, please.
Been a major domo all your life?
Yes, I come from a long line of major domos. My father was a major domo, as was my grandfather before him, as was my great-aunt. In fact, she was the one to start the tradition.
Great-aunt?
A hard woman. It is said that already as a child, she knew where she was going and went there. When she arrived in Beauclair, she signed on as a chambermaid at one of the vineyards, then slowly worked her way up to major domo. She dragged the rest of the family up the same path.
Well, Roach is happy at least.
Sure, go on. Drink up while you're young. A bushel of grapes is more a burden than
The servants' quarters. I occupy the green home. With the Duchess's permission, I have hired a full staff. Their salaries to be paid from the ducal treasury.
Nice of her.
Not the most sightly part of the estate, I admit. But I think it's worthwhile for you as master of the domain to know where the help stays.
The help.
Baron Rossel ordered the vines in this part of the estate uprooted and olive groves planted in their place. They look beautiful, especially come spring.
Don't look at all bad now, either.
So that is her grace summoned from the
Down below lies your vineyard, where we grow a strain of Carfanere, one of the world's oldest. Aged in oak barrels, it provides for an exquisite wine with distinct blackberry, wild cherry, plum, and cinnamon notes. Marvelous.
Have to try it one of these days.
stopping sensation in my wrist.
Rinse their bones with flour and bakes gingerbread biscuits out of it.
Nice well. Picturesque.
Yes, though it ran dry long ago. During the raucous feasts Master Bolius held, he would order it filled with wine. There's a tale about a guest attending a Bolius ball for the first time and thus unaware of the custom. He had suffered great heartache and had decided to end his life by jumping into the well. The festivities were coming to a close, and the well was nearly empty when the suicidal guest finally jumped. Instead of killing himself, he merely broke his legs. To numb the pain, he drank the wine.
Drank himself to death?
Not at all. When found the next day, he had concluded he'd witnessed twin miracles. The water had been changed into wine, and he had survived. He retired to a monastery in the Dragon Mountains and began preaching the wisdoms of Lebioda. Monsieur Bolius' wife Nina kept a garden here. A supremely lovely place it was.
Bit neglected now.
I agree. Yet nothing stands in the way of restoring it to its former glory, and once again planting it with herbs and other vegetation. Madame Nina planted diminutive, delicate flowers and herbs here. One might say their aroma still hangs in the air.
You're quite the romantic, Barnabas Basil.
Man, the detail here is amazing. My own personal creek, too. Not bad.
Me oh my! A witch fella!
A witch feller.
This served as an additional wine cellar in years of plentiful harvests.
Bit of work and it'll make a fine stable for Roach.
The cellars, voila. During Monsieur Bolis's time, wine was kept here, but Baron Rossel used it to store olive oil as well. I took the liberty of cleaning up the mess, which...
I made while fighting the Bruxa. Thanks, Barnabas Basil. Appreciate it.
As you can see, the facade is, how to put it, slightly stained. But one cannot deny it a certain subtle southern charm.
True, though it could use a bit of subtle paint.
And welcome inside. On the left is the master bedroom. On the right, the dining hall and kitchen. Upstairs, you shall find the guest room, currently used for storage.
Not a bad idea.
At the moment, the house is only minimally furnished. Yet I believe we will, together, devise some innovative arrangements. A few paintings, for instance, would breathe new life into the abode immediately. With that, sir, you've seen the full lay of the land. Corvo Bianco is a beautiful estate. Though one must admit, time has taken its toll. Forgive me for being forward, but if you were to choose to invest a small sum towards its beautification, consider me at your service on the matter.
Think I'll take you up on that. Be sure to come and see you if I decide to do any remodeling.
Okay. I'm sure this is going to be expensive, but...
Mentioned the place could stand to be spruced up.
Oh, most decidedly, sir. The question is where you would like to begin this rejuvenation.
Let's start with the house.
Been thinking about the outer walls. Maybe a fresh coat of paint or some patching.
If I might dare to make a suggestion, why not start with a general renovation? I once oversaw such work at Admiral Rompelli's summer residence. The effects were simply breathtaking. Not only did the residence positively sparkle afterwards, but we also made room to display the Admiral's armor and weapons, of which he was a passionate collector.
Ooh, 5,000. Alright.
It's in your hands then. Make the place shine.
I shall get to work immediately. Within a day's passing, I shall have sent for the crew which rebuffed the Admiral's residence. They are the finest specialists around. Highly skilled at what they do, it shall not take them too long, I wager. 2 days after they begin, your eyes will behold your residence in its refurbished, rejuvenated, beautified state. Is there anything else you require, sir?
That's all for now, BB. Thanks.
Okay. Well, if we're going to be spending that kind of coin on our estate, we've got to win some money. And you guys know exactly what I'm talking about. It is time for some Gwent. I'm gonna go to the Cockatrice Inn, and we're gonna end this episode by earning ourselves some coin.
Hey-ya!
Let's head on down the hill here. Oh wow, this place is packed with workers now. That is awesome. Geralt of Rivia now owns a vineyard.
Hey there.
The Cockatrice Inn.
No two ways about it.
Oh!
Innkeeper.
Today? Swilling wine, rolling in the hay?
Banquets? Normally, I'd encourage you to try our famed fisherman's chowder. But alas, we are all out of crayfish.
Could replace them with something else. Perch, for example.
Replace crayfish with fish? I beg you. What next? Vinegar for wine? Parsley for thyme? Huh? Your nordlings are a pleasant lot, but about cuisine you know nothing.
Show me what you got in stock.
I'm gonna check out his Available stock. I don't see any Gwent cards, but he's got some nice food. What I'm here for is... Yes! Up to 50.
Not likely to taste your famous fisherman's chowder, so maybe we could play some Gwent.
What's in the works today?
Oh,
Swilling
you're
wine,
smug for now.
rolling in the hay?
He is playing as Skellige. Well, that's a fantastic role as Northern Realms. I've got 2 spies. I'm gonna keep that. So those cards can transform. And there's the transformation. Oh, 8s. Intense. More spies for you. Oh, and 2 more spies for me. Oh, I see. Once he activates the, what are these? The bears, basically. He can't double that row. That's interesting. Look at that. I got Regis's card. And yet more spies. I have a stupid amount of cards right now. He's gonna double that front row. I'm gonna be hateful and just pass the first round. He's going to medic one of my spies, I assume. Yep. What's my ability? Okay. The siege doubler. I'm gonna do something unusual. Scorch my own spy on my side. Bring it back with a medic. And they've passed. They weren't expecting that one. Nice, okay. I'll use Triss to win this match. This round, that is. There we are. What just happened? Now with my faction ability, I got a free card. The second one of these 8s, but they got to deploy some units from their discard pile, and they played a spy. They do have 7 cards left, so this is going to get interesting. Two spies. Intriguing. Alright. Do a siege. Von Everett adds +1 to all units in the row. I'm gonna have more on range than on close combat. Ta-da! I'm thinking I might actually double that row with my commander's horn. I'll do that now to block some of the cards that I'm about to play. Wow, they passed with 4 cards? Okay. I'm way ahead. What do they have left? I'm going all in here, guys. And double. And now double siege. 208. Killed it. Win Gwent with more than 187. I've done that before. Come on now. Okay. That's 100 crowns, guys. I might play a few more. But I've won his first card for the Skellige deck. Nice. We're going to end it there for today. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you very soon for additional adventures here in Toussaint.